Welcome to our channel. Today we're diving into a topic that's about as comfortable as a wool burqa in a sauna. Countries where Muslims aren't welcome in 2024. Buckle up, because things are about to get messy. Now before you grab your pitchforks and torches or angrily type in the comments, please note this video is based on current data and trends, and our aim is to inform and educate. We're here to break down the fine print of global intolerance, and spoiler alert, it's not pretty. Let's start with country A, shall we? Imagine a place where your right to pray is constantly scrutinized, where your clothing choices are debated by politicians who wouldn't know a hijab from a headstand. That's country A in a nutshell. They haven't outright banned Muslims, oh no, that would be far too straightforward. Instead, they've opted for a more subtle approach, 1,000 tiny cuts to your freedom disguised as security measures. Want to build a mosque? Good luck getting planning permission. Fancy a career in public service? Not if you're visibly Muslim, apparently. It's a masterclass in passive-aggressive prejudice, and frankly, it's exhausting. And don't even get me started on the media portrayal. They've got Muslims playing the role of dangerous outsiders so convincingly, you'd think they were auditioning for a propaganda film. The sad reality is, this constant barrage of negativity creates a climate of fear and suspicion. So, while country A might not have an official no Muslims allowed sign, the message is pretty clear. Don't get too comfortable. Next up, we've got country B, a place that loves to boast about its freedom and diversity, right up until a Muslim family wants to move in next door. Then suddenly, it's all, won't somebody please think of the children? But what about our cultural identity? Look, I'm no historian, but I'm pretty sure a nation built on immigration has no business turning its nose up at newcomers, especially when those newcomers are just trying to escape a war zone that country B may or may not have played a role in creating, but I digress. The point is, country B has this nasty habit of enacting policies that sound suspiciously like they were written on a cocktail napkin by someone with a tenuous grasp on both geography and human rights. Remember that time they tried to ban travel from several Muslim-majority countries? Yeah, good times. And let's not forget the enhanced security checks that just happened to disproportionately target, you guessed it, Muslims. It turns neighbor against neighbor, fuels discrimination, and makes life a living hell for innocent people just trying to live their lives. So, country B, if you're listening, here's a thought. Instead of building walls and banning people based on their religion, why not try building bridges and embracing the diversity that makes you, well, you. Just a thought. Now I know what you're thinking, John, this is all very anecdotal. Give us some hard-hitting facts. Well, buckle up, because country C is about to serve you a cold, hard dose of reality, pie chart style. According to a recent study, and let's be honest, you know it's bad when I have to cite actual research, hate crimes against Muslims in country C have skyrocketed in recent years. We're talking insert shocking percentage here, percent increase, folks. And before you say it, no, it's not just a few bad apples. This is systemic, institutionalized Islamophobia, baked into the very fabric of society like raisins in a fruitcake that nobody actually likes. From discriminatory hiring practices to biased media coverage to good old-fashioned bullying in schools, Muslims in country C face an uphill battle every single day. The point is, the numbers don't lie, and in country C they paint a bleak picture for Muslims. Chapter 4, country D, even the UN is like, dude, not cool. You know it's bad when even the United Nations, an organization that can barely agree on the time of day, is calling you out for your treatment of Muslims. But that's the situation country D finds itself in. They've been slapped on the wrist by human rights groups, condemned by international organizations, and even their closest allies are giving them the side eye like, dude, what are you doing? But country D, ever defiant, just doubles down on the denial, claiming they're simply protecting their national interests. Which is, of course, code for, we're perfectly happy to throw an entire religious group under the bus if it means scoring a few political points. The international community is watching country D and they're not impressed. Chapter 5. Country E, a history of hating on Muslims. It's complicated. Now I know what you're thinking, John, this is all very depressing. Can we please have a history lesson instead? And to that, I say, sure, but I'm warning you, it's not going to be pretty. You see, country E's relationship with its Muslim population is about as stable as a Jenga tower built by a caffeinated squirrel. It's a long and messy history, full of colonialism, religious conflict, and enough political maneuvering to make Machiavelli blush. We're talking centuries of mistrust, discrimination, and outright violence, all wrapped up in a nice little package of cultural differences. It's like that one friend who constantly brings up a fight you had in the 3rd grade, except in this case, the fight involved centuries of oppression, and the friend is an entire nation-state. The point is, understanding the historical context is crucial to understanding why things are the way they are. Chapter 6, Country F, Real People, Real Stories, Real Sad. Now I know we've been throwing around a lot of statistics and historical facts, but it's important to remember that behind every number, there's a human face. So let's talk about Country F, and the very real impact these policies have on ordinary people. Meet Naeem, a young Muslim woman who just wants to go to university and maybe one day open her own bakery. But thanks to the discriminatory practices in her country, she can't even get an interview, let alone a job. Or how about Naeem, a father who's constantly being stopped and searched by the police just because of the way he looks. Imagine having to explain to your children why the people who are supposed to protect them are treating you like a criminal. These are just a few of the countless stories of Muslims who are being marginalized, ostracized, and demonized simply for existing. Now let's talk about Country G, a place where the Muslim community is as diverse as a bag of Haribo gummy bears and just as likely to spark a heated debate. You see, in the face of adversity, communities often find themselves at a crossroads. Do they band together for support or fracture under pressure? In Country G, it's a bit of both. On the one hand, you've got organizations working tirelessly to combat Islamophobia, promote understanding, and build bridges between communities. They're the unsung heroes, fighting the good fight against a tide of intolerance. But on the other hand, you've also got internal divisions, disagreements on how best to navigate this hostile landscape. Some advocate for assimilation, for toning down their Muslimness in order to fit in. Others believe in standing out, in celebrating their identity in the face of oppression. It's a delicate balancing act, and there's no easy answer. But it's not all doom and gloom, folks. In amongst the hate and intolerance, there are glimmers of hope. Take Country H, for example. They're not perfect by any means, but they're making an effort. From grassroots movements to interfaith dialogues, people are standing up and saying enough is enough. They're challenging stereotypes, promoting understanding, and proving that love, in fact, trumps hate. Sorry, had to get one more Trump reference in there. It's a slow and often thankless task, but these changemakers are proving that even in the darkest of times, hope can still flourish. So, what does the future hold for Muslims in a world that seems increasingly hostile? Well, if Country 1 is anything to go by, it's a mixed bag. On the one hand, you've got a growing awareness of Islamophobia, with more and more people speaking out against discrimination. The internet, for all its flaws, has become a powerful tool for connecting communities and amplifying marginalized voices. But on the other hand, the forces of intolerance are not backing down. They're emboldened by political rhetoric, fueled by fear, and armed with social media algorithms that seem specifically designed to spread misinformation faster than you can say, fake news. It's a constant tug of war, a battle for hearts and minds, and the outcome is far from certain. Well folks, we've reached the end of our whirlwind tour of global Islamophobia. I know, it's a lot to process. We've covered everything from discriminatory policies to hate crimes, from historical context to personal stories, and the one thing that's become abundantly clear is this. The world is a complicated and often messy place, especially for Muslims. We've seen how fear, ignorance, and political opportunism can create a climate of hostility and suspicion. We've witnessed the very real impact this has on individuals and communities, but we've also seen glimmers of hope, examples of resilience, and people from all walks of life coming together to fight for a more just and equitable world. The fight against Islamophobia is far from over, but it's a fight worth fighting. Thank you for watching. If you found this video informative, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Seriously, tell your friends, share it on social media, shout it from the rooftops, but maybe check with your neighbors first. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and stay tuned for our next video, where we'll be tackling, well, let's just say it involves puppets, politicians, and a whole lot of awkward silences.